Well, the microphones are actually up.
Yay. Hoorah.
And which is kind of cool because it's a little bit of an inside story here. We're going to peel back the curtain and tell you about it a little bit. So what had happened is we have we did some promo stuff with Ray Churchill and some of the kids from the play, and now they're going to be in here live tomorrow.
Paul.
But we did the entire thing without. I didn't turn the microphones up. The whole thing, and I'm like, oh my god.
Repeat.
So anyway,
where was your program director during all of that?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. He was fired at that time. He got rehired after that.
I thought that was like his job was to keep up on you.
Yeah. He was on written notice at that point. Yeah. He's like, I don't care.
He's a loser again.
Loser. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Oh, great.
Rich Canova
Good yourself.
And Mr.
You know who I am?
Malin.
You remember my name? Yeah, Wayne Malin.
Yeah. Say my name. Say my name.
Yeah, DoorDash part-time job. Yeah.
You're going to Kathy's after this, huh?
Well, I got to swing by Taco Bell first.
Yeah. Wayne is a part-time Chippendale DoorDash person. If you order from DoorDash, you may get Wayne in a thong.
Now you just put DoorDash out of business.
Oh my God. With a bottle of bleach to wash your eyes out later, right?
Oh my God.
So I haven't shared this with you yet, Wayne, but my friend Peggy in Utah had sent me a picture, and she wanted to know why you were in Utah.
Why I was in Utah.
Yeah, I'm going to show you in a second here, and you'll see.
It'll be good.
It's been probably 40 years since I've been in Utah.
And so I'm sure it's not a picture of you either.
She goes, hey, our PD is looking for the public's help for identifying this gentleman who evidently robbed our liquor store. I have a question for you. What the is Wayne doing in Utah stealing from my liquor store? We don't have nip bottles. So,
oh boy,
here's the picture. That's the picture that was sent.
Wow.
Did you see it, Rich?
I got a doppelganger out there somewhere.
Man, you got a twin brother. Holy crap.
In Utah. And he's probably Mormon.
Yeah. Well, to fly out there and back I probably would have to steal a lot of liquor to make up for that.
Well, flight. At least if it's in nip bottles, you get under the radar with the amount of liquid you can carry on a plane per container.
I mean, if you zoom in, it looks just like you.
Yeah.
It's not even.
Wow. Little less hair on the top.
Yeah.
But awful close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just when you think, folks, that we are safe in the town of Griswold with our personnel that is leading us, apparently they run off to different states, steal their nip bottles.
Did you show them the picture?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
Must took the red eye.
That's scary.
I mentioned it.
There's two great-looking guys like that in the world. Unbelievable.
I don't know how it can be contained, Wayne. I don't know. We well, I say we, but I did on my TikTok show at night. We were talking about the nip bottles and what the problem was here and that we have here. Apparently, nobody has that problem. Nobody. I mean, we had people from almost every state in there representing, except like Hawaii.
Well, not having them all over the town, all over the streets and stuff. Yeah,
no, one guy in Oregon said, "Yeah, we've got that." I'm thinking, okay, I'm surprised. What do you mean? Wow. There's nothing like this in Arkansas or Tennessee, which is or Texas, which is surprising.
Nip bottles laying on the side of the road, or
on the side of the road, parks, just everywhere.
Take a ride through Norwich.
Huh?
Take a ride through Norwich.
No, I'm talking about other states.
Other
states.
As a whole,
it's like nobody knows about this. I'm like, Are we in a different world, or?
I think so.
So I still think we put deposits on those things.
Well,
you put deposits on them, they're still going to be.
Write a letter to your state legislator and see if they'll, push a bill through.
Jesus.
Talking about bills.
Yeah.
So we had our state rep Brian Lanou stop by yesterday to talk about. Yeah, I screwed that up. Tongue tied. The other guy that looked like me probably wouldn't have done that. But anyway,
he's drunk.
Yeah, Brian Lanou was at the RTC yesterday talking about bills that he's been, pushing through the system and things he's worked with Heather Summers on and things like that. And one of the things they talked about was stipends for volunteer, firefighters and EMS and all that stuff, and making them tax exempt up to $2,000 because these kids go out there and they are first responders. They go out and protect lives, protect property, and they get taxed and all like that. So they get maybe $1,500 stipend, and then they maybe get $1,000 out of all the stuff that they do during the course of the year after tax. So they were trying to push that through, and apparently it got stopped at the finance board portion of the process because they said the state can't do without that money. I forget the amount of money. Do you remember, Rich, what he talked about? How much money the state wouldn't be getting based on the taxes? But in any case,
300,000 wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole bunch.
It wasn't a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
Especially the millions that we're sending to the illegal immigrants to have a nice, comfy, but we're not going to support our volunteer firefighters and EMS, first responders, by giving them a tax break, for their stipends that they get. So I thought that was
that one woman in Litchfield or something that was like the head of that whole mess shooting it down.
There was somebody that shut it down.
Yeah, out in Litchfield.
I can't remember her name, but
no, where money's not a problem to begin with.
So. We even, even in our own town, we've had a little bit of pushback asking our firefighters, what do you guys do, to get a stipend like this?
I'm never going to let that one go.
No, we're not going to let that go.
You're at that meeting, Rich? It was a Board of Finance meeting?
No.
Where one member of the Board of Finance was talking to, was it Waslick?
It was Rich Waslick and Lou D'Amico
from the Jewett City Fire Department. And he just looked at him and said, so what is it you guys do?
Yeah.
And Rich just looked at him and goes, what is it?
Save lives.
Yeah. Save lives. Save lives.
That was on the way
Save
out,
your
on
life,
the way
I
out
think
the
he
door
said.
on a call too, wasn't it?
No, then we went back, sat down, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a half hour later, there was a call, and the three of us get up, go out the door, and then Rich turns around and throws his arms up. This is what we do. And we head out the door to go to the call.
Years ago, when I belonged to East Great Plains in Norwich, when I lived in Norwich, they were just starting that stipend program down there. And I want to say it was you had to respond to like 70% of the calls. And
I think you guys have that too, right?
Yes, it's a graded
percentage.
It's a graded approach.
You got to go to trainings and all that stuff. And at the time, it wasn't even a stipend. It was a tax credit. If you own property in town, I think you got like $1,000 tax credit. So if you had a $5,000 car, you only got taxed at $4,000. That's how they were doing it at the time. I don't know what they do anymore, but put money in somebody's pocket. I mean, just because they're volunteers, help them out. Otherwise, you're not going to get them. They're not going to come.
Right.
Yeah. Well, these people get up middle of the night, especially EMS, EMT.
Family functions, everything.
I believe it was, I get corrected by anybody who's listening out there, but it's mostly EMS calls that, we get called for. So I had one this morning at 8:30.
Well, what did Lou say last night? The calls last month, 85% of them were EMS.
Yeah, 85% are EMS.
Yep.
So, a lot of medical issues out there. And they get there first. I'm going to tell you, I get a call, I get in my truck, and by the time I get there, those guys are there, they're wheeling her into the ambulance, and they're leaving. That's how fast they respond. Yeah. It's and I'm not joking around. I live over in Arrowhead too. I'm right outside the city, Jewett City. So, and of course, we're told, part of the department not to break, speed limits and stuff like that. So you got to follow the speed limits and you get there and all like that. But still, it's pretty darn quick for them to get there as soon as they do. So we're very fortunate in the town here to have people dedicated to what
They're
they
not
do.
following speed limits.
No.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, the ambulances probably don't, and the service trucks, when you get in the service trucks, they're probably going a little faster.
I think
but
they go depending on
Yeah.
what actually what
Right.
call they're going on.
Yeah, but I'm just fire police, so I'm not going to break speed limits just to get there and direct
Okay,
traffic.
all right.
But
Well, fire police, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You guys have a different set of rules or a different protocol, or
yeah, well, we're all supposed to be driving safely, even the firefighters and stuff. So it's but like you said, it depends on the emergency. But I will tell you, a lot of the calls happen up around where where Lou's at and where Rich is at. So it doesn't take them but a minute to get there. They're right in the heart of town here. So
also a lot of the senior housing is too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So because we see ambulances going by every day.
Yeah.
We saw them this morning. Didn't know where they were going. See a lot of troopers over there too.
Yeah. I know where they were going, but hopefully the person's okay.
So
that was one of the issues that he brought up. I don't know what. There was something
Brian
else.
Lanou?
Yeah, Brian Lanou. Now he was talking about electric vehicles and how we're trying to conform to the way California is electric vehicles, and they're trying to get all electric vehicles in the state by 2030. Even though the big three car manufacturers
can't do it,
are paring back because they're not selling enough.
Ford, they haven't scrapped it, but they've stopped production on the Lightning trucks because they're just stockpiling them. Nobody's buying them.
It's too expensive.
Like 80 to 90 grand or something like that. It's ridiculous.
They did a comparison on cars and trucks, regular cars and trucks versus EVs, and the EVs were definitely more money.
So,
people can't afford,
absolutely.
People can't afford a regular car today. Never mind going out and buying an EV and spending $10,000 or $20,000 more. It's crazy.
What is it just to be? I mean, why? I haven't honestly, and I probably should be
find out
where these more attention to this. Why? I mean, I pay attention to the pricing.
It's all about making money. It's all about investments. There's a lot of people that invested in the batteries and the vehicles, and they're pushing the climate issues and stuff like that.
Look what I even showed you this morning. That's in today's paper that Tesla's laying off 10% because of slow sales.
Yeah.
Even Tesla, as big as Tesla is, and everybody loves those Teslas, they're laying off 10%. Yep.
They're also finding out in the colder areas of the country in the wintertime, the batteries don't last. They don't last.
That, and when you plug them in at home, that charging in cold weather can actually use the power that's supposed to be charging your battery and some of your battery. You could wake up in the morning and have less battery than you did when you went the night before and plugged it in. Cold weather will just sap it right out of it.
So when they were presenting all this, when Brian said that he had some experts in there presenting all this, one of the legislators talked about the cold weather and stuff like that and the battery efficiency rate and stuff like that. And her response was, well, park it in a warm garage. How many people out there heat their garages and can afford to heat their garages?
How many people have a garage?
How can many people have problems heating their house during the winter? And then you got some idiot, I don't know who he or she is, saying something like that. It's almost as bad. It's almost as bad as asking firefighters, what do you do? So,
and there's a lot of places, condo associations don't allow you to park them in a garage because of the fire risk. They make you park them outside. So, there's that too.
We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the power available. They got a lot of charging stations they need to put up. But right now, I don't think straight electric is the way to go. Hybrids, I'm all for hybrids. Hybrids are fine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But, go to straight. Now you're telling people what to drive.
I'm afraid to get an electric car, to be honest with you. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, I don't know enough.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, it's like my electric lawnmower. I can't go 30 minutes without the thing dying.
You must have got the wrong one because the commercials say they last like
That's
4 hours.
You can mow 2 acres on one charge. I know it, right? 6-inch high grass, 2 acres,
My
no
God.
problem. No problem.
It works great for 20 minutes,
like
I
a
mean,
golf course too. Right down.
Oh,
It's horrible.
I never had an EV car. I had a hybrid. It was a 2011 or 2012 Hyundai Sonata, and it was rated at 29 city, 45 highway, and it got it all day long. And it was a good car to drive because, listen, you only really had to stop to get gas because it would just, the engine was there to drive the car while the brakes regenerated and recharged the battery while you were driving. And, that's when you use gas. And after that, boom, you were about, I could go down the highway at 70 miles an hour on battery for miles, just keep going. And when it got low, the engine would kick back in and keep you going, and the wheels would charge the batteries back up. It was a great deal. But yeah, full electric, no way.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is did you buy another hybrid?
Nope, it's the only one I ever owned.
So why?
I don't know. I think I bought it maybe just to check it out.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I didn't own it for maybe a year or so when I traded it in.
There was something.
There was nothing wrong with it.
No, but there's something like, for example, I won't even pull the proverbial trigger to get one because I just don't trust them, and I don't know why. I have a friend that has a Tesla. It's a fun car to drive.
Oh yeah, they go.
And just letting it do it itself, or whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's very interesting, and it is fun.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
But I don't know. But he drives it to Boston every day.
The problem I have with this whole thing is this is America.
Oh,
all right.
Choices.
We should be able to have our choices. If some people want to drive gas powered, diesel powered, or electric or hybrid, then they can choose that. Don't tell me as an American that you're going to do this because it's for your own benefit. No, it isn't. Let's look at these people's 401k and their bank accounts and see whose best interest it is. Because I know for a fact a bunch of these people have a lot invested into these batteries and these electric vehicles.
And how come we're the only country doing it? And it's not even the whole country. It's certain states. Mm-hmm. But you don't see the rest of the world jumping on board with all of this.
Well, they keep talking about California's got it all figured out. No, they don't. No. When they have to tell homeowners to not charge their cars because they don't have enough electric power available on the grid and they're having brownouts or blackouts.
Well, they make them shut off their air conditioning in the summertime when it gets bad. How are you going to let them charge a car?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't hear about all that on the mainstream media, and there's a reason for that because it's against somebody's agenda.
Sure.
They've shut down all the nuke plants except for one. They were talking about shutting that one down, which provides 8% of their power. I mean, they got hydro out there. They're running with their solar and all that stuff. Soon they're going to be telling everybody they got to put solar on their house, whether you want it or not. And to me, that's wrong. People should be able to choose what they want to do.
So I had at one time I had a representative come over from I forget, there's ABC Solar. There's a million of them out there. Mm-hmm. To give me an idea of what it would, because they said, well, we will save you money. That's the premise of it all. Okay, well, if you're going to save me money, show me how. So now this was based on an average of $150 a month electric bill. It fluctuates depending, but average. So the guy comes over and he does this whole breakdown of how much the panels will go ahead and actually, create, or generate,
produce.
Yeah, compared to what you're using and how much you'd still be spending with your local provider because after I showed them the bills, because they're not going to be able to provide enough.
They'll never let you overproduce anyway.
Yeah. Because God knows you're not going to sell it back to them.
Of course.
So the way it came down was that average spend on my solar would have been about $190 a month. All right. And that was because of buying the unit, and next thing you know, you're financing it a $30,000, $25,000 unit.
Correct.
And I said to the guy, how is this saving me any money? Well, you're also adding value to your house. I said, well, you just told me these panels got to be replaced in about 20 years. I said, there's a 25-year note you're trying to push on this. Well, I said, you're not saving me anything. I said, you're costing me money. So as valuable as solar, I believe, is, I still think that they're raking in money on it as much as they can, which, well, it's, free enterprise, but still it's not, I don't feel it's a great deal.
Remember when Solar City was still at Home Depot and solar started to become the thing?
Yeah.
And, I had a guy come to my house and went through the whole thing. They did a Google Earth to find out how much they could put on your roof. They looked at your last 12 months bills, the whole 9 yards. And at the end of the day, I said to the guy, how much are you going to save me versus what my bill was, what my bill's going to be, what I have to pay them.
Yep.
And it was $5 a month. And it's like, you're going to put all this crap on the roof of my house to save me $5 a month? And no thanks. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Definitely not.
You were lucky that you were actually getting a savings.
Well, now it's changed a little bit. We went to the Mohegan Sun Home and Garden Show back in February, and there was a couple of solar providers there. One of them was Boundless Energy was the name of it.
There's a million of them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're the storefront for Forever Freedom. I mean, Freedom Forever. I mean, whoever. Mm-hmm. So they came to the house. They were very thorough on what they did. They went up in the attic, check and make sure you didn't have to have supports put in. They walked on your roof. They did all kinds of stuff, checked your electrical panels, went through it all. Everything was looking good. These people were actually going to save you a lot of money. You were not going to pay anything to Eversource from February till like October. Then in October through February, you would work off your credits that you had. Their guarantee was they were going to produce at least 90% of your power for you and bank it so you could get through the cold months on that. If you had to use a little bit at the end, in February, that was your month that you squared up. You either got credits back, money back, or you had to pay the little bit. So
kind of like an oil co-op almost.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad deal. It was, I think, $139 a month, and to not have to pay my $200 to Eversource, that was pretty significant. So I was almost entertaining it, and everything was going forward. And the home inspection part came back, and they said that my electric panel was not code compliant. Now, listen, I've been an electrical contractor for 25 years. It's quite compliant. But they wanted to come in and not only replace it, but relocate it. And in my basement, there's no place to relocate it. It's where it is. And it's an underground service, so it's not like a whole lot can change there. And we were back and forth on it. I said, you know what, forget it. I says, time out. I'm tapping out. I says, you're not coming in, rewiring my house or moving things and yada, yada, yada. And listen, I don't care what you're saving me. I'll pay Eversource. It doesn't matter. I'll get one of the third-party providers and be done with it. And that's what I did. On the 10th day, because you had 10 days, on the 10th day I canceled, and that was the end of it. But I would have to say that they were probably the best ones as far as money-wise went compared to others that I have talked to. But yeah, when they want to come in and start doing things like that, it's like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. Wayne, have you experienced anybody with a solar opportunity?
We've had people come around and knock on the door, and my wife says, "You selling solar?" No, I'm not interested. So that's the way it is.
Yeah.
She doesn't want the panels on the roof.
No.
And that kind of stuff. And, we've got neighbors that have them all over the place, but I don't know.
Talk to them, see what they, how it's working for them. I mean, I got one down the road. When I see them outside, I'm going to ask them, listen, you've had it for a few years. Remember the Be Free Solar that was promoted around here? Now look at, right? You can't even find that company. They're gone.
Well, I will tell you this. And, my wife is a real estate agent. She's had issues trying to sell houses with solar. Absolutely. Based on if they're leased or if you buy them straight out. If you buy it straight out and you own it, it's a lot easier to sell the house than if it's a leased solar system.
Because then they want to charge you to take it off, which is basically the balance of your lease, and it's quite expensive.
Trying to change ownership on the lease, it's a pain in the butt. So. And then that's if the place is still in business or they've changed hands and all other stuff. Then it becomes even more convoluted.
Just like Be Free Solar, gone. People are now experiencing problems with panels starting to drop out.
Yeah.
And Be Free Solar is not even allowed to do business in the state of Connecticut anymore. So who knows where they are if they're still in business.
And just making a comment, which is what we were pretty much already aware of, which we've already discussed. Facebook user. It does not add value to your home.
No, not at all.
you have anything, Wayne, to say to Facebook user?
It's probably, I know who it is. More than likely, if she's listening. I don't know if she's listening.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
that's.
but she might be doing something else. I think she had something going on this morning. But that could be anybody. But yeah, so I don't know if it adds value. She would be the one that would know better than I.
I can tell you a lot of people have said you get taxed on them. You absolutely do not. Connecticut is not allowed to tax solar systems in your house. I mean, if they could, let's face it, what do you got? $25,000, $30,000 worth of solar equipment there. The town's going to benefit huge on that, but they are not allowed to be taxed. So that you can put that to rest. A lot of people thought you got taxed on them.
So there's a lot of shenanigans. I mean, Brian brought up a lot of stuff, and I've listened to Brian, talked to Brian a lot. So
he brought up a lot of good things.
He brought up a lot of good things last night, things he's trying to do, and things that the state's doing, and they're more concerned about getting votes than doing what's good for the state.
Correct.
Is what's happening.
Correct.
And following a certain agenda. And, I mean, if you want to live in California, move to California. I'm in Connecticut. I don't want to follow California's rules. I'm sorry.
I find it very interesting that the state representative or a state representative showed up on tax day.
Well, we had the RTC last night, so it was Republican Town Committee. So he showed up, to as a guest to talk about stuff.
Being a state rep,
yeah,
I'll come next month.
when the dust settles.
Yeah.
So, well, it is.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the town vote. I'll come after that.
Well, it is his turn to run around, knock on doors, and talk to people. He's up for re-election this
Listen, you're
November,
in that position. You got to take the heat too.
Yeah. So speaking about the tax man, or the tax woman, Leona, how do you think that's going to fall this year? We haven't.
The town taxes?
Yeah, I mean, we've generalized on it. We haven't really got into it. I mean, I think we do a little bit when Scott Davis is here, but in general, if something comes up, we don't really talk about it. I'll throw comments down like, well, this was expected, and stuff like that. But how do you think it's really going to drop?
Heavy.
It's they talked, I think when Scott was on, they were looking at 2.5 mil.
I think Rich said it right out. I think it's gonna be higher than that.
So, well, there's gonna have to be some significant cuts.
There's gonna
on
be
the town
cuts.
side and on the school side.
I
So
think the town side right now is settled in at no cuts at like 2.7.
yeah,
And
the
then
school's
the school's not factored into that yet.
Schools at 4.69% increase.
So you're never going to get 2.7. Never mind adding the school to it, which will certainly take it up over 3, I'm sure.
Well, that's just percent increase over last year's
Oh,
budget.
you're right. I'm talking mill rate.
So mill rate, they were talking, 2.5. So, and Scott was pretty clear when he said that, the past practices probably, were not what we needed to do to try to
You mean like taking money out of the general fund?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And also not doing mill increases so we've had one mill increase. I think it's 0.34 mils in the last 5 years or something like that. So and if anybody's been paying attention to what the inflation rate's been going on in the last 3-4 years, there's no way you can keep up with that. Can't sustain that. And also, we're not bringing any other kind of revenue into the town to offset that and minimize the impact to the taxpayer because we're mostly a residential area.
Yeah.
So the homeowner is going to be taking it up the shorts pretty much.
So like a phoenix out of the ashes, Scott Davis in the chat group says, right now we sit at 2.43 mil increase without cuts.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so they
there
said it was 2.7. Yeah.
That was right there, 2.5. There you go.
But does that include the school budget?
So there is a Board of Finance meeting tonight. Am I correct, Scott? I think my wife's going to be there.
He just said based on borrowing last year and the increase in long-term debt, we sit at 1.1 mil increase before we even look at the budgets. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's going to be a doozy. When you said that, Rich, I'm like, yeah.
Well, think about a few years ago. What we go through 5 referendums one year before we got a budget to pass. People are not going to accept it. Yeah. They'll force them to cut. Is what's going to happen. They're not going to take that.
So here's the thing. when people have to go out there and I walked on, there were people, and it was mostly retirees and stuff like that, talking about tax increases and how it's going to affect them to be able to pay for their mortgage and all that kind of stuff and pay the taxes and be able to stay in their house.
Sure.
There's a lot of concern for that.
Groceries, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and well, that's because the supermarkets
They're gouging people.
gouging
That's
the
right.
prices. That's
I
what
forgot
Hartford
about
says.
that.
It's
Right.
got nothing to do with raising
No.
the minimum wage.
It's got nothing to do with inflation. I'm
and
sorry.
inflation and supply chain issues, all other stuff.
Nothing.
No, nothing to do with it. Now, I'm not going to say that some of these people are making more money than they should, but that's not the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of it's been mismanagement in the leadership of this country, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, when you cut like that, you're going to be cutting the town budget. The town's already shorthanded positions in the town hall. When you do that, you're not going to get the services that you may expect when you go down to the town hall. We don't have a town assessor. We're going to be looking for a town clerk here in a couple months.
Yep.
I believe there's a town planner assistant that we're looking to get part-time.
That's out there. Yep.
In the school, you're going to be cutting back possible teacher or assistant positions. It's going to impact the ability of the administration to do their job, to improve the students' learning. So the bottom line is, the Board of Selectmen's working on this, is getting through the infrastructure issues, trying to figure out what we got to do with the land that we do have available to put commercial on there so we can build up the revenue to offset a lot of this and to get more money into the town. I mean, people are complaining about the roads also. We got roads that were falling behind on the road plans. We're just falling behind.
I know they're hitting the roads hot and heavy right now, though. I've seen that online.
Yep.
They're out there. The asphalt plant must be open, I guess, but that's the only thing that held that up.
Yeah, but even that's gone up. When Todd put it out last year, it had gone up quite.
Price of asphalt's crazy.
Two to three times more than it used to be. Yep. So that's one half of the roads that you're going to be able to fix in the same money.
Exactly.
Not to mention labor contracts and everything else going up. Nobody's going to sit there and keep their job if they're not going to get a raise for 4 years. They're just going to start looking elsewhere. So,
well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a second and talk more about those fun and quirky taxes. We'll do that in just a second. But first, let's see. We got to take up a little bit of housekeeping here and just mention a few businesses that make this a reality that we are able to go ahead and do every single morning and try to bring information, with different boards and commissions and people that are in the chat room and all that stuff. So we really appreciate all these folks that do support what we do here on SNSN. And one of them, P7 Construction, LLC. P7 Construction, they're actually right in this building here that we are actually in. They can do siding, new construction, old construction, rebuilds and remods and all that stuff. Is that even a word, remod? I don't even know.
Remodel?
It is now.
Remodel. It is now. Roofs, P7 Construction. Take a look. Find them on Facebook. P7 Construction. Another fine company that does go ahead and support us here at SNSN is Capital Property Group. They are also here in Jewett City, 70 Main Street, where they will, if you have a condo association, they will be able to go ahead and manage that for you, so you don't have to. With maintenance costs and everything built right in, since they have their own maintenance department. If you live out of town and you want somebody to manage your properties, look to Capital Property Group. LLC, also here in the town of Richfield. All right, we'll be back in a second right here on SNSN.
I'm going to take a stroll up and down the street and cool off. How's that?
Woo! Lights definitely put off some heat, huh?
New year, same problem. These insurance prices always seem to be on the rise. Is it simply the company you're with, or is there more you can be doing to manage your insurance cost? Call the Burns Agency today and let our qualified staff walk you through coverage options, eligible discounts, and other cost savings. You can reach us at burnsagency.com, by phone, or better yet, stop by our convenient locations in Norwich and Dayville. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Jewett City Savings Bank's commitment to helping local businesses fuel growth was recognized by the Small Business Administration and readers of the Commercial Record. We invite you to put our winning commercial lending team to work for your business. Because when local businesses succeed, we all win. To learn more, visit jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah, 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
To visit the dentist. In a word, yes. Especially if that dentist is Dr. Katzoff and the staff at Griswold Dental Associates. They follow all the latest safety protocols while doing what they do best, taking care of you. From preventive to restorative, your dental care couldn't be in better hands. To schedule your appointment, call Griswold Dental Associates today, 860-376-2626. That's 860-376-2626.
'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah. Tax man.
Mhm.
Scott Davis is starting to vibrate.
What's he got to say?
Nothing right now.
The
Nothing right
gatekeeper.
now.
I call him the gatekeeper.
Oh, well, hold on a minute. As I say that, he does have something to say. $600,000 borrowed last year to balance the budget rather than increase the mill rate.
Mhm.
And about $404,000 increase in long-term debt for their multi-purpose field bond payment. So there you go. Then I guess there's a lot of on the Board of Ed side, but we're going to have the Board of Ed in here, proudly represented by Mary Beth and Sean McKenna in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She's the chair. She can speak for the board, obviously.
Yep.
And we're going to go ahead and have lucky to have her and Sean in a couple of weeks and talk about the school budget. Right now, it wouldn't be fair to have them in because nothing's finalized.
I don't know if they're presenting again. They presented a couple weeks ago to the Board of Finance. I don't know. I know my wife's going there tonight to the Board of Finance at 7.
It's like it's not fair
and
to have
and they're streaming.
Are they good?
They stream.
Good,
Board
good,
of
good.
Selectmen stream. And matter of fact, we talked about that a little bit last night. The public health and safety.
Oh, really?
About streaming. About,
And how did that?
you know,
how did that
well, you know, it
kind
was
of a shit show.
Didn't
as
go
that.
far.
no, it didn't go far.
Told you.
But we're gonna.
And it
you know,
won't.
like I said, I'm gonna swing by and see if I can get to talk to somebody. See if we can get some
Well,
answers.
I'm really glad, that because it's something that is important to me, not really because of a business model, but because it's a product that's out there that can be utilized to really send information out to people. Even if, I can't tell you how many times that I personally can't get to a board of finance meeting. I can't get to a board of selectmen meeting.
Yeah.
It removes that hearsay part of things.
Yeah.
When you can go back and watch your
And
show
that's
a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Mike said this, and you go watch it. No, Mike didn't say that. Mike said this. It removes all of that. I mean, literally costs nothing. You know,
Yeah, sometimes you got to be somewhere else. Like tonight, I'm going to be at the firehouse for the company meeting, and there's going to be the Board of Finance. If I want to see what's going on, and I can look at it later the next day.
Correct.
See what was talked about.
With me, it's like, we're maybe a basketball game going on that we're streaming, or a baseball game, or football game, or something. So there's a lot of things.
It's not for a lack of interest.
Or
It's
maybe
just
some
you can only
evening
spread,
Make sure
romance.
I watch them.
you spread yourself so thin, right?
Yeah, and I will go home, and I've turned it on during dinner. You gotta watch that now. Well, I only have time now. Can we just have dinner? All right. No, she's never said anything like
She
that.
never gave you a wink. Said, "Come on, Mike, let's."
No, no, I'm watching the Board of Selectmen.
Can we do that later? Only take 2 minutes.
If that, but what did you say? Somebody said, it's slower than two old people. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
But it's I do it. I think everybody does. You kind of watch it as you can, and I think with the streaming aspect, I think it really should be. I'm stumbling all over the place on this, but the bottom line is, I feel that it really should be available to every board, every commission, and let the residents pick and choose what they want to watch and what video they want to consume.
Yep.
If you can put it out there, then nobody can sit back and say, well, it's not out there.
Right.
Well, you're full of shit, because it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, we talk about a lot of stuff on this show, and there's stuff. The Board of Ed streams constantly. The Board of Finance is streaming now. Board of Selectmen is streaming now. So those are probably your most 3 major boards out there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get the rest of the committees to start streaming, and trying to work through the offices up there to get that going, at least for the 2 boards that I'm on. And if we can make it simpler for everybody to be able to do it, which Mike says anybody can do it, but
if it's that easy for all these other groups to do it, what's the barrier here?
I don't want to.
Maybe it's not worth their time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really what
I'll
it
try to
comes
get
down
an
to.
answer today, and if not, then I'll bring. I'll
They
try to
already-
hook up with
already
Kathy and have her go up there with me, and she can explain it to him.
They already own the equipment. I mean,
The problem is apathy. That's the first one. The second one is people that don't know how, don't want to take the time to learn it.
he wants to.
I know, but who's going to teach it to them? Do
Well,
they have the
he's
time
been dealing
to do
with the
it?
person
I
who
sat
sets it
I
up
sat down.
now,
I sat
right?
down with Lisa Wood in the office for an hour and a half one day. We ran into a problem trying to hook up to YouTube or whatever that we're trying to stream to, and she had to look into it. So apparently, the account that I signed into for Zoom was a free account, and they pay for a Zoom account, and they have to get me somehow hooked into that. I know, maybe I don't know if
It's horseshit.
I don't know if it is that or not.
It's horseshit.
I try to give people.
I don't
a
care what
certain
anybody's
amount-
telling you. I can go in there and set you up in 10 freaking minutes. All right, good. Well, we got to get you on the account. That's horseshit.
And that's not the caffeine kicking in either. That's
No, it's not Kevin. It's horseshit. Big plops of horseshit, because this should have. I mean, this is something that could have been done a long time ago.
Yep. It should be something simple to fix. So
You would think.
shouldn't be that hard. So
Scott Davis says we'll start. Whoa. We'll start working on trying to finalize budget this evening in preparation for the public hearing. This will be this year. We will present a budget at the public hearing that more closely represents what voters may see when they go to the polls.
does he have a date for the public hearing?
I don't know. I have to talk to him and his wife.
Because our registrar of voters last night,
have a
our
date
DC
that
put out the referendum vote was going to be June 4th.
Well, let me finish reading in years past. Curly in past years, something went made until I don't understand that. Maybe that's a typo, but I don't know what your past years. And then out of the ashes, like a phoenix, Alex Greslak.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I stand by our decision to use the $600K last year. We needed to hold the line for the taxpayers. We're continuing to feel the repercussions on the town dragging its feet for years and years after the infrastructure referendum passed. Those projects should all have been completed by now. The price increases due to COVID, etc., were completely avoidable.
I thought last year that it was 850,000, not 600,000. That was, and then there was 70,000 that was given to the Board of Education on top of that to hire somebody. So truthfully, it was really 920,000 that came out of the undesignated fund, unless I stand corrected.
I think there are points on both sides here by both Scott and Alex.
Oh, there's no doubt that we haven't been.
The infrastructure should have been done.
Yeah.
Should have been done.
That money's been there.
So here's the thing that I got with this, right? So we're moving forward with the infrastructure and the sewer line and the water
didn't cost
line
the town anything.
and the water tower. And the longer we waited, the more things, prices went up and labor went up and it got more expensive. And my feeling when that first got voted on, and I wasn't thinking about all this, by then, but they were trying to do the 164 and the 201.
Yes.
I think we tried to bite off more than we could chew with that.
201 was even before 164.
Yeah, we should have went through the 164
That should
first.
have been done long ago.
But in any case, that's behind us. Moving forward, my biggest
1984
concern with this is how the land that's available, what's going to go on it, and how's it going to benefit the town and the taxpayer.
We're not going to know until the infrastructure gets there.
Well, one project that's on there is Heritage River.
Yeah,
do they even have any money?
And
where
a
does
YMCA.
where does that really stand? Exactly. Have they got any
Yep.
funding yet?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
So-
and how much money is the YMCA going to bring to town?
Nothing.
Zippo.
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. It's not even going to have a pool.
It's tax
No,
exempt,
right.
so it doesn't matter.
So we got to be very careful about what we do with the land. And the biggest thing I got is the state overreaching and telling us you're going to put more affordable housing in there, which is going to do nothing for us again.
Right.
So
Cindy Barbara Martin, excuse me. It was stated a tentative date of June 4th.
okay.
That's for the vote.
Tell you right now, just when you think nobody's listening, everybody.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's what she put out last night. So I thought I'd put that out because
Correct.
Scott had talked about the town hearing. So that's going to be before that. And I just didn't know if he had a date for that yet. So
I'm going to put it out there, Mr. Davis. You guys, y'all need a budget for streaming. No, I'm serious. I'm really serious about that.
So there's a line
Need to-
item in the capital budget to improve the infrastructure in the town for communications.
Yeah.
I talked to Jim Barney about that. So that's already in there. And if we're going to spend, I don't know how much it would cost, 20 grand to do that.
I'm your boy.
So
I could hook it up, set it up. You guys would have to show up, do a meeting, and walk out and be done.
Exactly.
and
That
then,
would be it.
and then we're going to own your butt and you're not going to be able to say nothing bad about the town. There you go.
I'll bet. Has nothing to do with nothing to do with what I would say or not say.
So
But
anyway. No, there's I'm sure there's proposals out there that we could do better instead of playing with the owl and all that stuff. Having, to deal with all kinds of different accounts and things like that.
see, playing with the owl is like high school technology group.
Sure.
It's like we're going to sit around, let's try to figure this shit out, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you actually got to hire somebody that can, like, you're going to hire somebody to do the infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to hire somebody to do this.
Listen, we're talking about a town right now that's struggling, trying to save money as best they can. We're talking about sharing resources with a town assessor. We're talking about sharing resources with a human resource person.
You know what's going to save you money
so
is actually getting that infrastructure put in.
Yep.
And it's like you said just a couple of minutes ago, well, we got to know what's going in over there. Well, you're not until it's there, because you're not going to have any serious buyers that are going to come to the table until that is installed.
Exactly.
It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
Well,
I've told Tina a couple of
I'm
times.
thinking-
My opinion is that when that goes in, it'll be a domino effect.
Well, that's what they said about 201 up there with the sewer and water project, that they've got land up there that people have come and looked at, but have zero interest because there's no sewer and water to them properties. So how much have we lost?
been cleared out already and been
Right.
sitting there.
And that's great.
And the
but-
money's been there since 2019. I think it got approved for that project, and still it sits in the bank.
5 years.
But Wayne, think about it. The land is there. It's been cleared out, right? So what is it?
Yeah.
It's just messy land that's been cleared out.
That's all.
There's no functionality to it.
Nope.
You know, you got a few tumbleweeds and you rub that on your head, maybe get some static
I
electricity.
usually see
I
the
don't know.
statey sitting over there once in a while,
Yeah.
you know. But
What's that?
the state cops. State
They-
cops are sitting there.
they take
usually
their
once in a
breaks
while.
in there,
Take their
yeah.
breaks in there and just
Yeah.
watching
Eat
the
a
traffic
sandwich,
go by, you know.
That they bought locally.
Yeah.
Or they bought the groceries
You know,
locally.
they're probably sitting there hoping that Cumberland Farms goes in there. So
Cumberland Farms!
$1.29 coffee.
Damn it, we need that. I need that. In
it's
my
probably
life.
more than $1.29 now. Everything else goes.
No, it was
$1.39.
99 cents and it went up to $1.29.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
By the time it goes in, it'll be $1.50. So
What, like $4?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was about 3 1/4. I think. Yeah, Mike and I's were like 3.60.
Yeah.
And I get the large iced coffees. They're $4.07. Believe me.
You know, and I go to Starbucks once in a while.
Why
so
is it more expensive for an iced coffee? You get less coffee because
I
of
know
the
it.
ice.
I know it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
crazy.
the energy to make the ice. I don't know.
God. But
I
the
don't know,
infrastructure
because it's
that
so
should have been-
popular.
huh?
Maybe it's because it's getting so popular. I have iced coffees now.
Oh,
I
iced
don't know.
coffee is popular. It's a New England thing. You know, you gotta go to Dunkin'. You're gonna go to Dunks.
Yeah, I'm going to go into Dunkin' and 12 degrees out. I'm going to ask for an
Get an
iced
iced
coffee.
And it happens. It happens.
Wearing flip flops.
in my pajama bottoms as I make my way to Walmart.
Yeah. And go back home and sit on the couch.
But the whole infrastructure thing, I mean, do you guys also believe that should have been done a long time ago?
Yes.
Definitely on 201. That should have
Yeah.
been done long
Well, what
ago. I
about
know there was a
164?
problem with acquiring the private.
The land
There was-
for
no,
the
there was-
water tower.
No, there was private.
I
Was
don't
it
remember
water?
that. Yeah.
Part of the sewer, the gravity sewer system that's
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
That
something
had to
like
be acquired. I know there was that issue that kind of held it up. But come on, since 2019.
Yeah, I know. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen until it gets done. Once it gets done,
Then what?
voila.
Then what? You got infrastructure in the ground, and sorry, we don't have the money to do this project, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead. 'Cause you got
I don't know if
chomp in there.
I don't know. I'd just like to understand if our town hall has the attitude or the welcoming business strategy that like Plainfield has, or Lisbon has, or the experience how to bring these towns in and how to work with them and not scare them off. We've had a history of scaring off people.
Look at the project Plainfield just landed. I mean, granted, it's a year or so down the road, but it's
Uline?
a 1.25 million square foot building with
Uline.
400 jobs.
Yeah.
And this is a new building. This isn't taking over that Amazon building. This is a new building.
Yep.
It's 5 miles down the road, actually.
And Amazon's not dead. Kevin had put that out months ago when he was on here that's still, and they're still getting taxes from that
I was
building.
saying, doesn't matter. They're still paying.
They're paying taxes.
They're still paying for that, but that's not dead. They were talking about another year or so. They're probably going to start, putting people in there and things like that.
Well, they got to build out the inside first. I
they're
guess.
they're transferring over to all electric vehicles. Here we go again, the all electric stuff. But that was,
That's
change
what
that
you say,
infrastructure
tax
for that
credit?
building.
They're not doing that because they're subbing it all out for delivery.
Yeah.
They're using the postal service. It's cheaper than buying all new vehicles.
So whatever.
Yeah, right. But hey, listen,
You're spot on.
600 jobs or 600
Yeah,
jobs.
I see some strange vehicle pulling in my driveway, and he comes down, drops a package on my doorstep.
So
So
the postal service comes around first, and then they come back and deliver your regular mail an hour later. Yeah.
So, it's things are changing rapidly, but I just want to make sure that whatever we're doing with the land we have available, because everybody says, well, we don't have as much as Plainfield, we don't have as much as Lisbon, and
Well, get the most out of what you got.
But Lisbon's
right?
smaller
Yeah,
than we
sure.
are. We should have, and a lot of people don't want things to change in the town. That's why we're trying to focus everything on a 395 corridor.
Lisbon has one thing that we don't: position.
Yeah.
The way they're positioned right off the highway with infrastructure. We have some position, but we don't have any infrastructure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really believe, and I've said this to our current first selectman, if you put it in there, it'll be like dominoes. I don't care about the YMCA. Not that I don't care about the youth programs or anything that they want to do there, but it doesn't benefit the town whatsoever. I don't even think it's going to be a draw for somebody else to come in.
They don't even have
I
a
just
pool.
Yeah,
don't.
right.
They don't even have a pool.
There's not even
I know.
no pool.
So,
I know.
so and we already have youth services in town.
Yes.
with the kids with Ryan Aubin.
I don't know what
He's actually going to be here next
there.
Tuesday, just to let you know. So talk about
who does a better job than they'll ever do with less money.
So
yes,
it's going to be.
I mean, I'm speaking out of school because I don't know really everything that they do, but I mean, let's just go back. They had a pool in Norwich, and they're gone.
Yeah. That building's
I heard at the Putnam facility
right now.
Yeah.
They're in there pulling out lead and asbestos and all that crap. Mattern Construction's going in there.
Oh, really?
Yep,
So Putnam's got a great facility up there that I haven't seen, but I heard they got a pool. They got all kinds of stuff up there. So, it's, I don't know.
No, you're on the right.
And I tell you the truth, we could use a pool in this town so kids could go. There's a butterflies and
up in
Bubbles
Ockham.
to Butterflies.
Bubbles to Butterflies down.
I go every Wednesday.
Yeah, my grandkids used to go there, and they're
go there
packed
to watch Benny swim,
and they're packed. Mm-hmm. My granddaughter wants to go back, and my daughter can't get a spot right now. So we could use another pool facility up here for the public, so you could learn how to swim and stuff like that. But if we're going to put a YMCA with no pool, what's the point?
Yeah.
So. But that's further discussions.
We can go off on the
try to get the biggest bang for your buck with what you got. I mean, if you got property, I'm not saying cherry pick who you're going to let go in there, but look at the business models on everything and try to get the most you can. I mean, you got to get something.
We need to have somebody that knows what they're doing. That's going to bring the businesses in. It's going to protect the town. I don't know if. I'll tell you what.
So
I don't have that expertise.
Hire the right person.
So I don't think And the thing is I do know that Kevin goes outside or has gone outside to get that expertise to help him bring businesses in, get the grants written. Look at marketing and all that stuff, and it works. Yeah, you have to pay some money, but we have over $6 million sitting there. We should be using that money to invest in the town.
Yep.
And right now we're, it's just sitting there. You got to get the right people in the right spots to make it work.
Kevin up in Plainfield spending the money, but the return on that money more than covers what they're spending.
Correct. And that's part of the business model.
And he's been here and talked about what he
does
in detail. He's not hiding anything.
Right.
No.
It's like comes in here. It's like a master class. It's like, this is what you do.
He's created a new position in the town hall, an economic development director.
Yep.
Who has that experience to work with businesses, to position the town to get more people in, and
I have a lot of respect for Paul Lash.
Yep.
He's on this, which has him being on this show has nothing to do with anything with Town Hall. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Jim Barney. I have respect for Tom Giard. Those are the three that I know that are the triad of the Economic Development Committee. They can't even get a recording secretary.
Yeah, we asked that question yesterday. Trying to got Paul fired up a little bit. But
we have three very nice gentlemen.
Yep.
Very wise and educated.
Been around a long time and know a lot of things. Yep.
That are in their 80s.
Yep.
As much as it pains me to say it, sometimes you've got to send the old horses out to the pasture.
I will tell you this.
You have to bring in someone that maybe has different thinking, because the current thinking isn't working.
Nope.
It isn't working.
Nope.
So what do? Do you continue with the definition of crazy? Where let's just do the same thing over and over again and think something's going to change.
Right.
This has got nothing to do with how I feel they are as people, as gentlemen. But I think it's time to change that model.
Is it to change the EDC board, or is it, are they up against a brick wall and they bring their proposals up to the town?
Yeah, you don't know that.
So I will tell you, I sat down with Jim Barney last week over the Capitol, and he's got spreadsheets for 5, 10, and 20-year plans. That guy,
I didn't say he wasn't brilliant. He is
on the ball with the Capitol stuff, and he keeps bringing stuff up, and it gets shot down.
So I'm talking about romancing businesses into town.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't have that
That's
expertise.
That's
Jim,
what I'm
Jim's
talking.
got a little
Right.
business background too. He owns condos. I mean,
right.
so in the grand scheme of things, he can relate it.
But the thing is,
to
they can romance businesses in the town, but then they got to go through the town hall.
You still need a salesperson.
Yeah.
Correct.
You need someone to sell it to someone.
Who's in the town hall? Nobody.
That's my point.
Yep.
That's my point.
Yep.
I think you need that. If you disagree with me, tell me, somebody out there. Well,
I'll
what's
tell you
going
right
on now?
You're full of shit, Mike.
Could be
Horseshit. Absolute horseshit.
Absolute horseshit. It could be. It really could be. I mean, I know I got that face that people just want to punch, but I mean, it's
I've been
kinda
holding back
true.
for about 6 months now.
Have you been here 6 months now?
Getting there.
Gee, that's horseshit, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh well. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you. I think we had another good conversation about all this stuff. Rich, it's always good to have you here.
Anytime.
And I appreciate you coming on in.
No problem.
Tomorrow, we have Ray Churchill and the kids from the show Legally Blonde, which is going to be opening tomorrow night.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing on TV that's going to be better than that.
Or Thursday.
Yeah. Or
So
Thursday.
I'm going to the Thursday show. Because
I will
we're
be there.
traveling, so
What did they say the other night? Friday and Saturday are not many left?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday are usually the
Yeah.
busiest nights. I will be there Friday and Saturday.
Said if you go buy a ticket,
Selling
you
50-50 raffle tickets,
reserve
helping
your
the
seat.
wife out because she's putting it all together for the concession stand and all that stuff. Supports the music program, and
You buy your ticket, you reserve your seat right there.
Yep, right online. Yeah, you go to griswolddrama.org.
Yep.
And
so Wednesday, Thursday is probably the best bet if you're going to try and get seats now. But
that's what I. The only reason why is because we're traveling.
Yeah.
On Friday, and we won't.
Right.
We will be gone for a couple of days.
All right, so they're stuck with me on Friday and Monday. I will do my best to make sure the sound is working and the cameras are working, and
I mean, actually, when it comes to Friday morning, no, I'll be in the air.
Yeah.
But
don't worry
Saturday,
about it.
nothing.
We'll figure it out.
Monday, I'll be. On Monday, I'll be in the freaking air.
Yeah.
Because our plane leaves at 5.
Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
On Monday.
I'm sure I'll have Victoria or whoever else is out there telling me, Malin, you're screwing up again. You don't. I can't hear you. I can't see you. So
All right.
there you go.
Well, we hope you come on down. What how am I talking about? Or listen to the show tomorrow. You come to
listen
the
to the show tomorrow, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good information. And talk to Ray. He's been doing this for a long time, and every show that I've gone to has been top notch.
Got it.
A++.
Again, thank you, Rich.
Yep.
Thank you, Wayne.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you again tomorrow with Ray Churchill.